Good morning. Today is June 24th, 2025. It is a little bit after 9:30 a.m. We have delayed the hearing somewhat for the respondent, Mr. Simino, to appear. He is struggling with the technology apparently, but he
Oh,
is welcome
Mr.
to
Simon,
join.
I think he's here. Just a
Okay,
moment.
excellent.
I
This is file V00067225, the matter of John A. Simino, co-trustee, John B. Simino, co-trustee, and for the John A. Simino Investment Property Trust grantee. Um, uh, Sadly, I've been informed that Mr. John A. Simino has recently passed, and I do express condolences to his family. Um, my name is Carl Cox. I'm a private attorney appointed by the Clackamas County Board of Commissioners as compliance hearings officer with authority to conduct this hearing and make a determination in this matter. This hearing is being recorded. That hearing recording is available through the county. I will ask that each witness that provides witness testimony provide an oath, or if the witness prefers, an affirmation concerning the truthfulness of that testimony. I will state for the record, I have considered issues of bias and conflict of interest and have determined that I do not have any bias or conflict of interest in this matter. I've also not received any ex parte contact, meaning no one contacted me outside of these proceedings to try to persuade me concerning a fact or issue present in this matter. I did download and review the county's hearing packet, which was posted publicly to the county's website, indicating that a copy of it was provided to the respondents. At this time, I will ask Ms. Copy to provide an explanation for participation in this hearing via the Zoom platform.
Today's hearing will include the hearings officer, county staff, witnesses, and the respondent, who will all have either audio and video capability or audio through their phone line. Witnesses who have joined joined the hearing will have their mics muted until called upon to testify by the county staff moderator at the direction of the hearings officer. Today's hearing is being recorded as required by law. There is a designated time during the hearing when it will be open for testimony. Be sure to provide your name and spelling of your name for the record. If you have additional documents to add in response to testimony or evidence presented in the hearing, the record will be left open to all parties to submit additional documents for a minimum of 7 days following the hearing. This will be followed by an additional period for response to new evidence, and unless waived, a final period for the parties to submit their final legal arguments. Email written testimony to codeenforcement@clackamas.us or mail it to Clackamas County Code Enforcement, 150 Beaver Creek Road, Oregon City, Oregon 97045. Testimony must be received by 4 p.m. on the day the record closes.
Thank you. As I will receive witness testimony, if you will or you may provide that witness testimony, please raise your right hand. And I'll ask that you provide an oath, or if you prefer, an affirmation concerning the truthfulness of your testimony. Under penalty of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you shall give in the matter now pending between Clackamas County and John A. Simino, trustee, John B. Simino, trustee, and the John A. Simino Investment Property Trust as grantee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I will.
Mr. Mr. Simino?
I, I do.
Thank you, sir. Before we begin, I'd like to just discuss the matter briefly. The county's complaint includes two issues. First, that there is I'm going to draw the card on the edge and pull the reading glasses out, sir. That The allegation is that the respondents violated the Clackamas County zoning ordinance by failing to implement conditions of approval in land use decision Z051917. And the second issue is that an assertion that the respondents have violated the Clackamas County Building Code by installing mechanical equipment without approved permits and approved final inspections. Mr. Lucy, are the respondents contesting these allegations?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that we weren't spending our time on a review of the evidence without getting to the actual issues. Ms. Coffey, the order of proceedings will be that I will ask the county to begin by presenting evidence that the county wants me to consider and making a determination in this matter, followed by the same opportunity for the respondents. Ms. Coffey, please begin.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Coffey, and I'm a Clackamas County Code Enforcement Specialist. The matter the county is here to discuss is Clackamas County versus John A. Cimino trustee, John B. Cimino trustee, and the John A. Cimino Investment Property Trust grantee. The address of the property is 25421 Southeast Rugg Road in Damascus, Oregon, in Clackamas County. The property is zoned Rural Residential Farm and Forest, RRFF5. On February 11th of 2025, Clackamas County received a complaint regarding the conditions of approval not being met for a licensed marijuana grow on the subject property. On March 4th, correspondence was mailed to the respondent regarding the alleged violation. I conducted research of the county records and found land use file Z0519-17 was approved on October 5th of 2017 for a licensed OLCC indoor grow on the subject property. Just so there are several buildings on this property. Exhibit B, page 1, is an aerial map of the property, and the building that we're talking about is indicated with a red arrow on that exhibit. The land use approval provided the respondent 4 years to implement the conditions of approval on the decision as noted on Exhibit B, page 5. The conditions that are the focus of this hearing for not being met are general conditions 4A and number 2 access conditions. The deadline date to meet the conditions of approval was October 5th of 2021. On March 4th, I submitted a public records request to the OLCC to inquire if any site inspections had been conducted. I received an inspection report stating that on April 3rd of 2024, the OLCC conducted a site inspection of the licensed grow. The report noted that air conditioning units were operating during the inspection and there was an active grow inside the building. I reviewed the county permitting system and could find no approved commercial mechanical permits for these air conditioning units. This is Exhibit C. On March 5th, I spoke with John Cimino on the phone regarding the violation. I told John that I confirmed that the mechanical equipment had been installed as noted in the OLCC report that I received. The installation of this mechanical equipment required permits and could find no approved permits in the county permitting system. In addition, the land use decision specifically stated that the licensed grow must have direct access to the rear portion of the property from Rugg Road, and that use of surrounding access easements was not allowed as stated in this land use decision. John stated that he now had easement rights. I asked John to submit that documentation to me. On March 6th, I emailed Senior Planner Ben Blessing regarding the easement and specifically if the easement rights overrode the land use decision requirement. Ben stated that they cannot use the shared access for the grow and that new land use would need to be obtained, Exhibit D. On March 10th, a notice of violation was mailed to the respondents regarding the zoning and building code violations. A deadline date of April 10th was provided to the respondent to abate the zoning violation. As addressed in the letter, a mechanical permit can be applied for once new land use is obtained. Exhibit E. On April 9th, I received a request for a hearing from the respondent's attorney, John Lucy IV, Exhibit F. And on April 24th, this matter was referred to the hearings officer.
Thank you. And
oh, I'm sorry, one other thing. We had a meeting on Wednesday the 18th. I was on vacation for a couple of days. Mr. Lucy did submit some respondent exhibits. I got those on Monday when I returned and marked those, and those were included in the record. The only exhibit that is missing in that would have been marked Exhibit 3, which myself and Mr. Lucy both tried to open that attachment, and there was an issue with the attachment opening. So
a minute, I downloaded the packet and I do not have an exhibit 1, 2, or 3.
Are we talking about the same packet?
I think so.
I
The
also
hearing
think
packet,
Jennifer appears to be frozen.
yes,
Oh.
the county seems to be frozen.
Okay, just making sure I'm saying the same thing you're saying.
The Mr. Lucas, it appears the county's having some issues with its, let's give it a minute here.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Sorry about that. I
Yep.
don't know what, that was our end. I don't know what happened.
the county's website, I just tried to pull up the hearing packet again because I haven't seen exhibits 1, 2, or 3,
Oh,
and there's nothing coming through.
okay. Yeah, that obviously we're having some issues on our end. Of course, I'm going to be leaving. I'm going to request that this record be left open, obviously. But what I was going to say is that the exhibit 3, hopefully will be, we're going to submit that once, we can get a clean copy to,
Okay,
for the submittal.
all right. Exhibit 3 is
Was it that the easement agreement, Miss John?
There should be an
Mr.
easement
Lucy?
agreement. I believe Mr. Semino sent it over additionally, a second copy of it. So I think that it should be accessible via that email. I'd ask the record just be left open.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we can
we'll get it.
coordinate
We'll,
of
that.
course.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Of
then there
course.
was also some additional emails that Mr. Lucy sent over this morning. It just was not submitted in time for this hearing, so I will get those also forwarded over to include in the record as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Yes.
it.
Additional exhibits. All right. Mr. Lucas, would you please state your name for the record and your position here? And I have a question for you.
Hello, my name is Joseph Lucas. I am an assistant legal counsel with the Clackamas County Office of County Counsel.
All right. And do you have any questions for Ms. Copy?
I asked Ms. Copy, is the property, the subject property, is there any direct access right now? Does that building have access, direct access, or does that property have direct access to Southeast Rug Road?
It does not.
And then what is the status right now of the air conditioning units? You know,
Yes, no permits have been submitted for those air conditioning units, but they also can't be submitted until they have approved land use.
and what is your most recent information about whether those air conditioning units are still installed or anything like that?
Well, the most recent information was that the grow was active and those were operating on site. I have not received any information from Mr. Lucy or Mr. Semino that they've ceased operating the OLCC grow, that those have been removed or disconnected at this time. So I'm under the assertion they're still operating.
And have you seen any venting or anything like that on the property indicating that they're still installed?
No, I have not been to the property. I've seen the equipment aerial images and also the OLCC report that they are installed and were working.
And then do you have anything else to add or that you think we should know?
Not at this time.
Thank you. That's all my questions.
All right, Mr. Lucy, I'd like to provide the same opportunity for respondents to present evidence and testimony for me to consider. Did you have a question for Ms. Copy before?
I think I have some questions for Ms. Calpe before we get to that point. Ms. Calpe, when did you determine that there was no direct access to the rear of the property? Because as best I can tell from the map, Rug Road touches the property. So there is direct access to the property. So I'm unclear on how you determine there's no direct access.
There's no direct access to that building from Rug Road, meaning that you can't drive a truck through the back of the property, as there's a creek that runs through the middle of the property. You can kind of see that on Exhibit B, and there's no sort of bridge or way to access that. Exhibit B shows that
So
there's
let's look at Exhibit B real quick.
yeah, Exhibit B, page 1.
Okay, so Exhibit B, page 1 of 3. And so when was this photograph taken?
That's an aerial image, and I don't think the date was captured on that, but it's an aerial image from Connect Explorer.
Okay, but you have no idea when this photo was taken?
No, the date is not on that photo.
And how did you determine that the photo was accurate?
I've been to the property. From Rug Road. I've seen it from Rug Road. I've seen the 3 buildings. This aerial imaging, I can provide the date, but it was the most recent one taken, which would have been in the beginning of 2025, I believe. But the
Okay.
exact date I don't have.
And so this image comes from where?
Connect Explorer.
And what's Connect Explorer?
It's much like a Google Earth aerial
Okay,
mapping.
who runs Connect Explorer? Who owns it?
I don't know.
And is it an American company or a foreign company?
I don't know. I don't know.
I
How do
don't.
you-
Let's move along with the relevancy. I'm not sure it's relevant who owns this.
Well, it's relevant because we can't determine when the photo was taken. So the implementation of the direct access via the Man Bridge would have had to be implemented by October 5th, 2021. But this photo, according to Ms. Calpe, is a recent photo. And so when is this photo from? What year? is
Okay,
this photo?
I understand.
Again, I don't know the date of this photo, but I can obtain that date and submit it as additional evidence to the record.
Okay, and so was this photo, in your understanding, taken after October 5th, 2021?
Yes.
Okay, and so do you have a photo between the period of October 5th to October 5th, 2021 available?
I have what is in the hearing packet at this time.
Okay, so this photo was taken by a company at some point somewhere, but we don't know when, but we know that it was after, we know that it was after 2021. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And if we then look to the hearing packet and look at, let's see, access condition number 2, which is Exhibit B, page 5 of 13. The subject property shall have direct access to Southeast Rug Road, a county road. Does the subject property have direct access to Southeast Rug Road?
I don't know, did we lose her
I
again?
think it's frozen again, and that's a
I-
great
I-
question.
The answer is yes, it has direct access.
Mr. Semino, I'd ask you wait while I'm talking to the county witness. I do apologize. I know you have a lot to
Oh,
say.
I
We're certainly
apologize,
going to
guys.
depose you and get to that portion of it for the evidence, but right now we're trying to figure out the connectivity issue, I think. And
Sure.
you
And
can't see that, and
Mr.
I
Lucy,
apologize.
while we're waiting for Ms. Copy, Jen, she's gone. But did your client obtain an access permit for Rug Road? Because you would be able to document that for me, and I could see it.
Well, the property has direct access to Rug Road if you look at the diagram. So if you look to the site plan,
I'm sorry, I got kicked out again. We're having serious difficulty with our technology today.
okay.
The building does not have that indoor grow does not have direct access directly from Rug Road to the back of the property. As stated in the access conditions, the easements cannot be used.
I see the land use compatibility. I see the land use from the 2017 to the 2021 approval period has the following language. And so I'm looking at the access conditions. The subject property shall have direct access to Southeast Rug Road, a county road. If I then look to the site plan, you can clearly see that Southeast Rug Road has direct access to the property.
This land use is specific to the indoor grow building that was approved at the middle of the property, and that this land use is attached to that building, and that building shall have direct access from Rug Road.
Okay, so
the easements cannot be used.
I see, I hear what you're saying, but I'm asking you another question. So the requirements of the original land use are that the subject property shall have direct access to Southeast Rug Road. The subject property is the subject property is 7104 Southeast not 710. It's the, oh, let's see. I need to get to, where is it?
25421.
Yes, 25421 Southeast Rug Road. Now, I'm not a genius, but given that the address is Southeast Rug Road and the map shows Southeast Rug Road, it looks to me like the property itself has direct access to Southeast Rug Road. I think the issue that you're speaking to, Ms. Calpe, though, and I want to get to that one, is that the property is bisected by Badger Creek, and a new pole structure will be located in the rear of the property on the opposite side of the existing residence. The applicant must have direct access to the rear portion. Use of surrounding access easements, such as the 20-foot road delineated on the partial plat 1992-165, is not allowed with this land use permit. Applicant must use an existing stream crossing to access the rear, northerly of Badger portion of the property. Any proposed stream crossings must first be approved by county engineering and the Department of State Lands. So I want to ask you again, does the subject property have direct access to Southeast Rug Road?
Yes.
Okay. So applicant must use an existing stream crossing to access the rear portion of the property. Was your office informed that there was a man bridge placed on the property in 2019?
No.
What was placed? I'm sorry, I missed it.
A man bridge. It is a
man bridge.
It is a fixture that is it's not a fixture in this instance. It's a piece of equipment that is used to create an access over a creek. And so were you aware, based on the neighbor's complaint, that a man bridge was installed in 2019?
I don't have any knowledge of the 2019 complaint or what was filed.
Well, no, not the complaint. I'm asking, are you aware that, based on the evidence that's provided to your office, that a man bridge was installed in 2019?
No.
Okay. And so if we then look to Exhibit 1.
Sorry, I don't have Exhibit 1.
Okay, and that's going to probably create that's going to make this hearing, I think, a little difficult, because Exhibit 1 and I can direct Ms. Calpe to it because I think she can take a look at it. If we look at Exhibit 2, page 2 of 4. Do you see that one, Ms. Calpe?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I do,
Okay. And
but
so,
I don't know what this is.
okay, you don't know what that is the position of the county.
No, this document. What is this
Okay.
document?
Okay.
This document was previously provided. This was previously provided to your office?
This was one of the documents that you gave me on Monday.
Okay. So you have no knowledge of this man bridge.
Wait, this is from yesterday?
Yes.
I
This is
believe
one of the
Mr. Semino's obviously, the issue is, I believe this has previously been provided, but I'm checking to make sure. Ms. Calpe, you're saying that you haven't seen this document until Monday? The county has not had access to this?
This, I'm not familiar with
Okay.
this Exhibit 2.
Okay. Are you familiar with, so to your knowledge, a man bridge had not been installed?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know what man bridge that I know. The
Okay,
answer is no.
there's no, okay, so you have no knowledge of that. Okay. And so let's look. Let's then go to.
Nor am I sure if this man bridge is there, if that would be sufficient to meet the land use requirement for product removal, deliveries, all of that for the licensed grow. That would be something that planning would have to look at.
Well,
I'd like to interrupt for two reasons here. First, I think we're going to run out of time, so I'd
Yeah.
like to talk about a continuance.
okay.
Let's pick a calendar date.
Let's look.
What do we have available?
Hold on here. Are you guys still there? Oh, you are.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still here.
I thought you guys froze up again on me.
My calendar is off to the side. That's all.
And unfortunately, my calendar is tied to whatever problems we're having.
All right.
I am flexible in whatever I am flexible. So if there's another date that works for I'm out the week of the 7th. That's I'm sorry, next week I'm out, but after that I can be available.
The week of the 7th.
I am not available that week because I am out of town. I will be in Denver. I can do the week of, let's see, I'm in Hood River the 15th. I'm dealing with that the 16th, 17th is not available. My wife is in that one. That one actually, let's see. The week of the 21st of July, I am available except for the 23rd. So I could do 22.
That is a regularly scheduled
Let's
hearing
add it to
day.
the 22nd.
Okay, and
Please send out notice on the 22nd. I have a 9:30 scheduled for that, but sometime after that.
okay, and in the meantime, we'll get exhibit number 3 over, the additional ones that were added today that were not sent over.
Right.
And I'll get it scheduled.
And Mr. Lucy, I want to clarify some of the issues here to just narrow this down a bit.
Sure.
All right. So not excluding the discussion here for just a moment about the land use and the land use approval and conditions of approval. Are the respondents going to contest whether that there are mechanical installations without permits? Is that the
we're contesting, so the issue is this, we're contesting, the county is alleging two violations. They're
Right.
alleging one, that the land use wasn't implemented, which then causes the secondary issue, right?
Yes.
If the
Well,
land
not
use-
exactly. If
Well,
the
it-
land
it-
use were implemented, part of that would have included mechanical installations with, I mean,
Well, that's the issue.
it's all tied up.
That's the issue I'm dealing with because of the time frame here.
Right, right.
So, and
I see that.
the issue is there's a 4-year window in which approval must be met.
Mhm.
And if we look to the county's own ordinance, which is 841.05, that deals with Clackamas County regulations for land use.
Right.
And when I look to that, I look to the approval period, and it says approval of permit under subsection 841.03 is valid for 4 years from the date of the final decision. If the county's final decision is appealed, the approval period shall commence on the date of final appellate decision. There was no appeal to my knowledge, so it's a 4-year window.
Right.
During this 4-year period, the approval shall be implemented or the approval will become void. Implemented means all major development permits shall be obtained and maintained for the approved marijuana production, processing, or if no major development permits are required to complete the development contemplated by the approved marijuana production or marijuana processing, implemented means all other
Okay.
necessary county development permits, grading permits, building permits for an accessory structure shall be obtained and maintained. A new major development permit is a building permit for a new primary structure that was part of the approved development,
That's not
Or-
applicable.
right? Or a permit issued by the county for parking lot or road improvements required by the approved development.
Right.
Our argument is that during the 4-year period, there was a man bridge installed that creates access. The Department of Lands has indicated that no permitting is required to install the man bridge, but it does give us access to the rear portion of the property. So during
Now-
during
Now,
that 4-year
is-
period,
Right.
okay.
Is it,
You
okay,
have a
so-
question, and I want to address it, but I also want to make my record. So
Perfect. And I want both. And we're going to have more opportunity.
Okay,
here. I just trying to understand what is going to happen here a little bit.
okay.
So, the major development permit, in my view, and I just want you to address it because maybe I'm wrong about this, would include a required access permit.
A required access permit?
Yes, an access to Rug Road. A new access to Rug Road would require a
Oh,
permit.
we have access to Rug Road.
You what?
We have access to Rug
Okay,
Road.
so
We're
the
on Rug
issue
Road.
isn't a new access, it is the existing easement, correct?
No, the issue is that the county is claiming that the man bridge that was installed that allowed access to the rear of the property through 2021 and 22 does not qualify as access. And the county's provided no basis for that.
Okay,
It's
so
simply-
the access is the shared easement, correct?
No, the access is via a man bridge and also via an easement
Okay.
that was later
That's
granted.
where, that was
Right,
my
right.
question.
There's two.
I
this
just
is the
didn't
issue.
understand that. It
Right.
wasn't clear to me that you're talking about something separate
Yes,
from the existing easement.
yes.
But how does that not require an access permit to Rug Road?
Because we already have access to Rug Road via
A
the property.
secondary access.
We have primary access to Rug Road via the front of the property. The rear
Oh,
of the
maybe I don't
property-
understand. I thought that was the easement.
There is an easement. There is also an updated easement, and there was also the installation of a man bridge consistent with Department of Lands that allows
It's-
access. So we have multiple access points. The county is claiming that we
That's
do
it.
not have
That's
multiple
it.
access.
I just wanted you to
Okay.
clarify that there are multiple access
There are
points
multiple access
to Rug
points,
Road.
and they were installed during the 2017 to 2021 period.
Okay.
Man bridge
We-
was installed. Yeah.
All right. Now I understand we have some issues to discuss. All right.
Right.
I'll look to a notice of the hearing for the continuance with a time, and I'll look to see and have an opportunity to review all the exhibits in this matter prior to that
Okay.
continued hearing. And thank you for clarifying where this was going. I really
Thank
appreciate
you so
it.
much. I know it takes a while, but I think I got there, so I appreciate
I
it.
think we did, and I appreciate that. Any questions before I close this hearing, keeping this, well, I keep the hearing open and the record open for the continued hearing, but any questions?
No.
No. Thank you all. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you much.